and welcome to episode 42 of Tales of Yarnia. My name is Hannah and I'm coming to you from Cheltenham in the UK, which is where I live with my other half Jimmy and our yellow Labrador Jonah. So it's been quite a while since I last podcasted. I think my last episode was in November, which was before I embarked on the insane thing that is Vlogmas. So I feel a little bit out of practice, and I didn't end up finishing Vlogmas because it was just so much going on. And then I became unwell, just with a flu-y, coldy thing, and it was just took me out for a few days, and then it was all the craziness of family visiting and all of that. So I did as much as I could for Vlogmas, and I enjoyed what I did, but I think it was a little bit too much for me. So I'm not sure if I'll do it next year. Of course, I say this now, and then I'll probably end up trying to push myself too hard again next year. But sorry, just knocked the table. So anyway, welcome back. If you're a returning viewer, I really appreciate you coming to watch my podcast. And if you're a new viewer, a huge welcome. I really hope you enjoy this episode and further episodes. So social media wise, you can find me as Yarnia Designs on Instagram and Ravelry. And you can also find my knitting patterns on Ravelry and Yarnia Designs too. So I've got a few little bits to update you on, and I've got the Cal prizes here with me, and I'm going to announce the winners for the Season of Socks Cal too. But first up, I've been a little bit quiet and busy this January because we got engaged on Christmas Day. So that was really, really lovely. And it was a huge surprise as well. Me and Jimmy have been together 10 years, almost 11 years now. And it was probably about time. But it was a real surprise on Christmas Day because I really didn't think he would do it then. Not a surprise that we are engaged, just when he decided to propose. So that was really nice. And we've been busy planning the wedding already. I thought, well, I've waited this long to get engaged. I'm not waiting this long that long to get married. So we are planning our wedding for November this year. So as you can imagine, a lot of my time so far this month has been tied up trying to sort a venue and book appointments for all sorts of things. But the main things are sorted now. So I feel like I can relax a little bit, and if you're wondering, I am planning to knit a wedding shawl. So yes, I don't know if I'm going to design one or just pick a design that's already out there, because that would be a little less stressful. So we will see. Anyway, enough of my life. I'm going to announce the winners for the Season of Socks Cal now. So this was a knit along that I ran from, I think it was the start of September to the end of November last year. And I'm only just getting around to announcing the winners and prizes and all of that. So I'm sorry it's been a little bit of a while, but these prizes are well worth waiting for. So the first prize, I closed the Ravelry thread quite a while ago, so I think I closed it just after the date that I'd said the Cal would end. And I've used, I think I used random.org to generate the random number to select which post would win each prize. So I've just got it written down here. The first prize, I've got these two gorgeous bags from Emma of Eldon Woodcraft. And she makes the most beautiful bags, and they're all nature inspired and a lot of woodland themes and birds and things like that, and they're absolutely beautiful. And she sent me 2, and I thought I would let the winner choose which one they would like, because I just can't decide between them. They're just both so beautiful. So you've got this one, which is, I'll just hold them all at once. This one is, I don't know what the words are to describe like the proper terminology, but this one is not a box bottom. It's but it's a really lovely size. It would be perfect for socks or hats or mittens, or you could probably even fit a small shawl in here as well, probably up to a 2 skein project, I would think. And then the other one is a box bottom. I don't want to open it for me to want to keep them nice until I know which one I'm going to be keeping and which one the winner would like. So the winner for one of these bags is post number 20, who is Dom the Knight. So if you get in contact with me, all of the prizes are going to be sent out in the post, I think. So if you get in contact with me with your address and mailing details, then I will, and let me know which one of these you would like, then I will get that sent out to you as soon as possible. They're just gorgeous. I don't know if I show you up close. These birds, just so beautiful. And I don't want to embarrass myself by trying to name each one, but I'm pretty sure that's a robin. I don't know what the other ones are. But they're just so beautiful. Oh, and there's some different birds on the back as well. They're just so gorgeous. Oh, so what was I saying? Yeah, they are gorgeous. So that's the first prize. Second prize I don't have with me, but it is I'll include a picture just here. It's a wonderful project bag by Hikari of Hikari Handmade, and she also makes beautiful, beautiful project bags. And I've got one of them here because I've got a whip that I'm currently keeping in it, and they all come with this gorgeous, it's like a cork, stamped cork label, and they are so well made. I think most of hers, or all the ones I've got of hers, are a drawstring, and it's just this gorgeous rope drawstring. The interface, they normally have pockets inside, and I think it's got a little ring as well to you can attach your like progress keepers and things like that too. They're just absolutely gorgeous. The one that she has got to send to the winner is not this fabric, it's not the same print as that, so I'll just include a picture. And she's kept hold of it, so we're saving on postage and air miles and all that sort of stuff. So she's going to send it directly to the winner. So the winner of that project bag is post number 30, who is Mad Laura. So congratulations, Laura. You are so lucky to win one of Hikari's bags because they are so beautiful. And if you contact me first, just give me your address details and I will pass it on to Hikari, just so that I know you've seen my announcement of the prize giving. And yeah, so that's all great. The third prize that I have is a sort of, I'm just going to put these two together to create one prize. And there is this skein of Fruitful Fusion, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Ishvat is so talented. She has such beautiful yarns. So I would definitely recommend going and checking out all of these people's shops, because they are all absolutely wonderful people, and such talented makers as well. So I feel so lucky to have their products to give away as prizes on here. But yeah, this skein is, I'm not sure what the colourway is, but the makeup of the yarn is 75% superwash BFL and 25% nylon. So I thought this would be perfect to give away for this knit along, because it's a sock cowl, and this I think would be perfect for a pair of socks. So it's just gorgeous. And along with that, I'm going to give away this gorgeous pin. I will just get it out to show you, which was made by my lovely friend who's Clay Pigeon Designs, Wendy of Clay Pigeon Designs, and she is known on Instagram as yarn_t. I'll include a link to her Instagram page as well. And she makes these gorgeous pin badges out of clay, and it's glittery. Oh, it doesn't want to focus on me. There we go. Sorry, it did want to focus on me too much. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's just pin on the back like that. It's beautiful. So I'll wrap that back up. So yes, I'm going to put these two together as a prize, pin badge and the skein of Fruitful Fusion. So, and the winner of, hang on, I'll just put this away. The winner of that prize is poster number 31, who is Riendel97. So I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I believe it's Marie. So congratulations, Marie. If you get in contact with me and let me know your address details, I will get this sent out to you as well. And I forgot to say, each winner who I've just mentioned can also have a free copy of one of my sock patterns. So if you let me know which of my sock designs you would like, I'll also send that over to you on Ravelry too. So yay, we finally did it. Got to the end of this cowl and have announced the prizes. So hopefully I should be able to send out prizes pretty much as soon as, or at least within a couple of days of each person contacting me. I'll try and wait until at least a couple of people contact me to save having multiple trips to the post office, but it's really exciting. I love sending out prizes. It's so fun. Just so exciting to receive things in the post as well. So yeah, lovely. Okay, so just put these things away so they stay nice. Okay, so that's it for all the announcements and things. And next up is onto all the knitting that I've been doing or trying to do. I mean, it has been about 6 weeks since I did a full podcast instead of like a little vlogmas episode. So you'd hope I have had an FO in that time. So the first thing that I want to talk about is my Floozy 2, which is now a finished object, and I am currently wearing it. So I'll just stand up so you can have a look, have a see. Here we go. So it's like quite an oversized or quite a loose fitting sweater, and I really, really love the shape of it, and I really, really love the colours and yarns that I've used as well, because it's quite neutral, but also like quite a bit of interest to it as well. It's just, I found this to be such a wearable sweater. I just throw it on over jeans, and yeah, and it's so cozy and comfy as well. So this is the Floozy 2, which is a pattern by Libby Johnson, and the yarns that I've used are, the main colour for the body is Moonstone Dyeworks in the Crescent Moon colourway on her BFL base, and I just love how the speckles have worked up in this. On the body I did I did alternate skeins, and I used the helical method for alternating, which is, I think I used the video by Grace of Babbles Travelling Yarns. And I'll include a link to her video just down in the show notes. I forgot to say, links to everything that I talk about will be just down in the information bar just below this video. So yeah, links to everything. You can, if there's something you want to know a bit more about, then I will include the link there and you can go and see. So yeah, main colourway was Moonstone Dye Works in Crescent Moon, and it's Tommy of the Squirrel Pie Productions podcast, who is the dyer behind Moonstone Dye Works, and she is amazing. I love her yarns and I love her podcast as well. She's just so funny, and I just really love watching her videos too. The pink is Big Sky Yarn Co. in the colourway Band of Horses, and I really love that colourway. It's so pretty. And then the dark grey that I've used is some leftover Mr. B yarn in the Stonewash colourway, which I the main skein that I had used for my Spectre sweater, which was I used a fade kit from Mr. B's yarn, and I had quite a bit left over from each colour. So yeah, Stonewash is getting added into everything at the moment because it's just such a great neutral. It goes with everything. So yeah, I feel like I'm not used to talking this much now. A bit out of practice. So I really love wearing this sweater. I really enjoyed making the sweater as well. So I would fully recommend this pattern. It uses a technique called mosaic knitting. This isn't traditional colour work, so you're only ever using one colour in a round at once. You don't have to have a couple of strands on the go on your hand as you're knitting around. So it's really easy to figure out, and blocking worked absolute wonders with this technique as well, because when I first knit it without soaking and blocking it, it was all bunched up and it grew quite a lot on the yoke in particular when I blocked it. So, and it really opened out the actual stitch pattern. So yeah, it was really fun to knit, and I really love the finished look of the sweater as well. So yay! Yeah, I might have to knit another one at some point because it was so fun. The only thing I did do is my sleeves are quite long, quite a bit longer than I would normally do, and I think it was because I think I did knit them to the same length the pattern said, but either I've just got short arms or, so yeah, they kind of come up to, they're not super long, they're just a little bit longer than I had intended for them to be. But I think it was when I blocked it, they did grow a little bit, which is fine. They're just super cozy now, so it's fine. Okay, and I've got one other finished object, which was a pair of socks. I called them my Merlin socks because I just knit a pair of plain ribbed socks using the Merlin colourway by Mr. B's yarn. And I'll try and include a picture of them. I can't remember if I took one, but I now don't have them anymore. I now don't have them anymore because they were a gift from my granddad for Christmas, so I sent them off to him. And they fit and he loves them, so that's really good. I did also finish some of those crocheted, were they pine cone? Yeah, the pine cone cloths, which is a pattern by Sandra of Cherry Heart. And those are all given away as well now. But if you want to have a look at those, I think I showed you some of the finished ones on the previous podcast episode. I think so. Yeah. So those were all the FOs. Quite a few of them were Christmas gifts, and then this was just a selfish knit for me. So yeah, you've got to have selfish knits as well mixed in. I forgot to say, I hope you all had a really lovely Christmas and New Year. Because this is the first episode of the year. But New Year seems like ages away. Forever ago now. But I hope you all had a lovely festive season. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, I just hope you had a lovely time and a lovely New Year too. So, on to current works in progress. So I've got 3 works in progress I'm going to show you today. The first one is technically a half finished object because it's a pair of socks and I've finished the first sock. So I'll show you the bag that they're living in at the moment. They're in my Socks for Dobby bag because I just love this bag for socks. I feel like it always has to have a pair of socks living in it. And that is from Mrs. QB, I think she's called. And the shop is called QB's Not For Profit. I'll include links to that down below. Okay, so the project is the iced sugar cookie socks, which is a pattern by Danny of the Little Bobbins podcast. And they are just so gorgeous. I love this pattern. It's so easy to memorize for this little section here. And it was just really interesting to knit, and the texture is just amazing. It's just so pretty. So the colour scheme that I've used for mine has a theme, and the theme is the snowman. So I think most of you will have heard of, or if you haven't, there is a sort of Christmassy cartoon, or it's made to look like an illustration, a drawing, but it's a video which is called The Snowman, and it's I've sort of watched it since I was a little kid, and it's just such a Christmassy. I just don't know. I've lost the use of my vocabulary today, but it's just reminiscent of lovely, cozy, Christmassy, cute little story. So, and it features a snowman. So I have used, my main colour is Mr. B's yarn in Walking in the Air, which is the song featured in The Snowman. I'm not going to sing it because I can't sing, but if you Google it, then you will have heard it, I'm sure. And so yeah, Mr. B's yarn is my main colour, and it's sparkling as well, I think. Don't know how well you can see. I just love the speckles. So it's Walking in the Air, which is one of their Christmas colourways. Then I've also used Mr. B's yarn in Stonewash for the toe and the little bit at the top and this section of the pattern. And that represents the coal for the eyes of the snowman. And then I've used this. These are just scraps, these two. This one is like a brown to represent the twigs for the arms of the snowman. And then this one is this sort of deep burnt orange, which represents the carrots, or carrot, I should say, for the nose of the snowman. So it's all a complete theme, and this was my Christmas Eve cast on. And yeah, I was really excited to have it all coordinating to create this or recreate this story for my Christmas Eve cast on. So I'm going to have snowman socks, and I'm thinking I'll probably try and save them for next Christmas. So that'll be really special to be able to wear my previous Christmas Eve cast on, have them ready for next Christmas. So yeah, and the sock blockers, I'll include links if I can remember where I got them. I think they were from the Knitting Shed. I got them at Unravel Festival, so I'll try and include links for that. But yeah, they're really cute. Love them. So that's the one finished sock, and I have now done. I've now managed to get myself tangled. I have done this much on the second sock. And I've just got this cute little progress keeper, which came in my Advent swap, which I did. I think I participated in the Adelaide Cottage Advent swap, and my yarn swap partner, this is one of the progress keepers that she gave me, which is so cute and really lovely. I love it. So yeah, I've done the patterned part, and now I'm onto the plain biscuit section, which I really love how Danny has named the different sections in the pattern. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. I'm now onto just like the really mindless stockinette part, which I really love, and until I get to the heel. So yeah, oh, and here's the cake of walking in the air. It's just so dreamy. It just reminds me of like a crisp, snowy day. And I don't remember the last time we had one of those. Right, okay. Oh, I'll show you this project next. And still a bit of a festive theme going on here with my projects, because this project is living in my project bag from My Cottage number 9, who I think is based in Ireland. And I really, really love this bag. The bags are gorgeous. Snowmen, gingerbread houses, a sleigh, reindeer. Is that a robin? Some sort of bird. Trees. Right, so living in here is my new shawl design. And this design is a combination of yarns from Mr. B's yarn, surprisingly, and Lay Family yarn. So these two colours, or yarns I should say, are from Mr. B's yarn. We've got the fingering weight, I can't remember what the base is called, and I've left all the labels upstairs. But I believe this colourway is the Duchess. Is it Duchess? Pretty sure it's Duchess. And this is their mohair lace weight base, and that is the fuzzy mauve. I think it's fuzzy mauve. If I've got that wrong, I'll correct myself. And then this is Lay Family yarn on the fingering weight base, and the colourway is Quirrell. So it's Harry Potter themed colourway, this one. I really love how this one works up. The colours are just so dreamy. I'm sorry, everything is covered in Jonah's hair, because that's my life. Right, okay. Let me just untangle what I have done here. This shawl, I think the last time you saw it, I was on the plain stripy garter section, and it's grown quite a bit since then. This is one of the main things I've been working on since I finished my Floozy 2. I'm really enjoying pinks at the moment. Okay. Am I showing this right? I'm showing you backwards, so that's not helpful. Okay. Or am I? No, I was showing you the right way. Okay. I clearly don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, we'll just pretend I do. Ta-da! So this is where we are up to so far. Just worried about that falling off the needles. Oop, it'll be okay. So it's an asymmetrical triangular shaped shawl, and try and show you a bit closer. It started off this top corner, this wiggly section, and the main theme with this shawl is I'm working the different colours on their own, not holding mohair with the fingering weight, but just having these more sheer sections here, and I'm just really enjoying it. So it's going to be quite a big shawl, I think, by the time I've finished, because I don't like to leave people with too much yarn left over. I don't want you to have to buy like 3 skeins of yarn and only use half of each skein. So, and I do love a big shawl. So I think this is going to be, I mean, already it's just, already is this sort of size. There's still quite a lot of the yarn left over. So yeah. And I don't know what it might end up looking like when I wear it. So yeah. But no, I really like these sections. Yeah, that's what I'm currently working on. So yeah, there's huge like stripy garter sections with little eyelets and this lace section. So yeah, that is where I'm up to with that. And now I need to try and figure out how to get this off without losing it off. What am I doing? Okay. So I'm not sure when this will be released yet. I need to finish the design, then write up the pattern, and then get it tested. So that's all going to take probably a couple of months for me to get this released, I think. So we'll aim for maybe beginning of spring, possibly. I think that'll be a nice spring shawl. Oh, quite a good one for spring. Not too heavy, but still the mohair is quite warm. Yeah. It's just so soft. Okay. So that's all the floofiness of my shawl design back in the bag. And I think I've got mohair in my mouth. Okay. My last whip I want to show you is living in my Hikari handmade bag. And this one is a new whip. Don't think you've seen this one before. It sort of also ties into acquisitions because this yarn is an acquisition. So living in here, I'll just show you the yarn first. Ooh, if I can. Oh dear. So the yarn, I've got a sweater quantity of Brooklyn Tweed Loft. Here is the label, which I have sort of screwed up something, sorry. And this is a fingering weight yarn, but it's super bouncy because it's woolen spun. And I've managed to create a knot by just having new skeins in the bag ready to be used. Okay. Now, I've made a bit of a mess of the skates of the balls because they've just been sat in here. But yeah. Anyway, these are slowly becoming a sweater for Jimmy. So might get blown out a little bit because it's quite a deep blue. That is pretty accurate, that colour there, you can see. It's just a gorgeous squishy yarn. The colourway is Almanac. So the plan is to make him a gorgeous blue sweater. And the pattern that I'm using is Albion by Michelle Wong. And I've never knit one of her patterns before. So I was really excited to have a go at one of hers. And I'm really enjoying it. The pattern is actually written for Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, which is a worsted weight yarn. But it was, yes, we went to a yarn story in Bath. Okay, so this was the same day that we went to the Christmas markets in Bath and met up with Claire and John of Mr. B's Yarn, and Becky and Kate and Paul. And it was really, really lovely. We had a lovely meal out. But before we met up with them, excuse me, I took Jimmy to a yarn story, and so that he could pick out which colour or which yarn and colour he wanted for his sweater. The lovely Carmen was there, and she helped us so much with picking out different yarns and colours and things like that, and helping us to figure out how much we'd need for the patterns that I had in mind. So for this pattern, it required worsted weight, but she said that Brooklyn Tweed Loft is basically the fingering weight version of Shelter. So by holding Loft double, I would effectively have the same as Shelter. So I went for Brooklyn Tweed Loft just because I love the feel of it and the texture of the yarn as well. And this colour, Jimmy just loved this colour, so it also helped sell it. So yeah, we went for sweaters quantity at that. This is my first time using Brooklyn Tweed at all, and I'm loving it. I've heard people either love it or hate it, and Carmen said the same thing. She said, if you love it, you'll be addicted. And I think I am. I think I love it. You either love it or hate it. So this is what I've got so far. The Albion sweater. It's not cables or lace. It's a texture pattern, and it creates these chevrons which go widthways across the body. And it's all bunched up on this small needle, but we've measured it up against Jimmy, and it should be all right. If I show you the front, yeah, because you have it on the front, the pattern on the front and the back, but it's mirrored on the back. Yeah, it's getting blown out. It's, I think it's much more like that colour that you can see. Yeah. It's really, really fun to knit. But I'm finding this pattern wants quite a dense gauge, and I'm finding that quite hard on my hands because it feels like I'm knitting tighter than I normally do, just because the amount of yarn that you're trying to fit into that small stitch is quite... Oh no, it's now getting blown out. But at least you can see the texture. And yeah, I've got on here a few stitch markers. I've got my little dragon from the Corner of Craft, which I really love. And then I've got a bit of a rude marker, so be warned if you've got kids watching. You might want to avert their eyes at this point. And this I can completely blame Becky for this entirely because she gave this to me at the Christmas do. And there you go. I thought this made sense to go on the man sweater. Oh gosh. I hope my granddad isn't watching. He sometimes watches the podcast. That could be really awkward. Okay. And then I've got this one, which is like, it reminds me of a little snow globe. Oh, can't see. It's like little, it's got little stars in it. Oh, there you go, you can see it now. Yeah, it's got little stars. I love that. So yeah, I was wanting to do this for his birthday, but his birthday is now in less than a week, so that's not happening. I'm going to aim for his birthday next year. So, yeah. That's fine. I don't want to put pressure on myself this year. There's too many other things going on. So, here we go. Right. So, those are all of my whips and projects. So, next up, I will show you some acquisitions. Okay, so, because it was Christmas, I've shoved all these acquisitions in this big, giant bowl on the table. Just drag that over. Right, so a lot of these are Christmas presents or things I've just accidentally treated myself to. So the first thing I'll show you, because it ties in with when I went to a yarn story, is I also got myself a sweater quantity of Brooklyn tweed whilst it was there. Yeah, it happened. But at least because I'm enjoying working with the Brooklyn tweed and apparently you get addicted to it, at least I've got another sweater quantity lined up. And this was what I was planning to use to knit as a cardigan by Hannah Fettig, which is in her book called Texture, which I've got upstairs in the craft room. And I think it's the Eventide cardigan, and I just want a really neutral cardigan. That might be a bit of a theme this year, going with neutral colours. They're just so wearable. So, yeah, so squishy. I love it. Anyway, this is Brooklyn Tweed Loft, and the pattern for this is a fingering weight pattern, so it will be just held on its own for that one. And the colourway is Wood Smoke. So, just so squishy. So squishy. I just brought down the one skein because all the others are on the shelf upstairs. But, yeah, really love this. So I bought that before Christmas as a present to myself. And then in my Advent swap on the 25th, we get a full 100 gram skein that you swap with each other. And this is what I got from mine. It's a local to my swap partner yarn, and I believe she got it from her local yarn shop, which is in Florida, and it's called Emma's Yarn, and it's so gorgeous. It's an 80% merino, 20% silk base, and the colourway is called After Party, and I absolutely love it. It's so soft as well. Gorgeous. So yeah, I think maybe using that on it in a shawl or something, because it's got like, I think it'd be quite nice and drapey and super soft, next to skin soft. I don't know. I'll have to see what happens, what comes to mind. Then I've got two really gorgeous special skeins, which I got as a Christmas present from my sister. And it's a dyer I'd never heard of before. And it's called, I think, Dries. And they're so gorgeous. They're 50-gram skeins, and they're single ply. What did you say? 70% merino, 20% mohair, 10%. Oh, I'm not sure what that is. I think she might have got these from Norway. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself, but I can't remember where. She went on holiday somewhere and I can't remember where it was. And then this was the second one. It's just gorgeous. So yeah, this is the label. And I believe this colourway, I think, is called Tabia. And I have no idea how to pronounce, I'm sorry. But that's what it says there. And then this colourway, it says Cargosh, I think. But it's just so beautiful. These are totally my colours. So, yeah, my sister wins at picking the right colours. It's great. There's 2 skeins which I treated myself to from Fab Funky Fibres just before Christmas, because I was regretting not picking some up when I saw them at Yarnia. They just had so many amazing choices, and I was like, I just can't decide. So I went away with nothing. But then I saw they were having an update, and I got 2 50-gram skeins because I can do heels, toes and cuts in a contrast colour to get a pair of socks. And this one is Mean Girls. So bright. And I love it. So, Mean Girls. And this one is Invasion of the Rainbow Snatchers. And it does look super rainbowy. So, these are going to be really fun. They're both self-striping colourways, if I didn't already say. That's sort of what Fab Funky Fibres specialise in, so they're amazing. And I can't wait to cast one of those on at some point. I've got one more acquisition to show you, which is some fibre. And this was a present from my mum for Christmas. And she believes it's some Suffolk undyed. And she picked it up from Bakewell Yarn Festival. It says on the bag here. It says on the label, it's Wooldale wool. So I need to look that up. Oh my goodness. Oh yes, here we go. Yeah. It says Suffolk. Oh my goodness. Big ball squishy. I love it. Just, oh, it's amazing. Look at this. Oh, it's just so gorgeous. That's going to be so amazing to spin. I just want to live in it. That's going to be amazing. So yeah, that was my last acquisition. I don't know how much is in here. Might have to weigh it. Is that going to be 100 grams? Would this be 100 grams? I don't know. It's so squishy and airy. I love it. And it smells amazing. So sheepy. Oh, so I feel like that wasn't too much to talk through. I think I've been going just over an hour, possibly. So yeah, that was pretty much everything I have to show you today. I'll try and make sure it's not as long until I podcast again. I know I say this every time. I'm really sorry. Life sometimes gets in the way. I'm sure you guys understand and have equally busy lives. So yeah, I'll just do the best I can. I want to try and get back to a little bit of designing. Sorry, I can just see Jonah in the garden going absolutely insane with a stick, charging around. I'll see if I can film a little bit of him in a minute. Anyway, I will see you all again in a few weeks. Hope you have a lovely couple of weeks, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye.